What's up and welcome to Jake's Guitar Channel. I am Jake, believe it or not. Channel's tiny, of course I'm Jake. Anyway, today we are looking at themes in solos. Now, what is a theme? A theme is essentially any musical idea. A theme can be one note if you want it to be. But the key to a theme is it has to be repeated. It's not a theme if it's never repeated. And a really important part of themes is variation. So if you have the exact same theme going on over and over and over through a song, it's just going to sound like you're playing the same thing and you don't know what else to play. However, if you've got some variation on a very simple theme, you can create something as complicated and stands the absolute test of time, so much so that you've got Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. That is based off 4 notes, and I will talk about that soon. I'm going to start though with me playing a solo. And this solo is intended just to be improvised. So I'm not exactly warm right now. I'm making an active effort not to have any type of themes in there. So there's no real thing that you can latch onto, but give it a listen and this will be the basis from where we move on. I feel like there's a couple of themes. If I really wanted to be analytical, I could find a couple of themes that I used in there. I find it quite difficult to not use themes because I'm so used to using themes. Now, what I tried to do in this solo is I did try and make it somewhat impressive. There were some fast runs in there, but I also deliberately didn't want to move that far outside of the basic shape, and this solo is one that, it's fine to use as a solo because it serves a purpose. Does it make the guitarist sound impressive? Maybe if they practiced it a little bit. But it's just a solo. It's not, no one's writing home about it. It's just a guy playing a solo. Who cares? The next version that I'm going to play for you is the version as it appears on the recorded song. So I have recorded this song. It's not released yet. It's coming sometime. It's a very slow bluesy song, but there is a theme that runs through the whole solo. And the theme's played 4 times, I think, but it gives a lot of continuity to the entire solo. So give that a listen and then we'll discuss everything in more detail. As you can see, compared to the first one, now go back and listen to the first one if you have to, but compared to the first one, this one feels like it goes places, right? Of course, the difference is, 1, I played unwarmed up and just tried to make something that wasn't going to catch your ear, and 2, I spent some time working on that previous solo. I did write that song, the whole song in 1 day though, so it's not like I spent weeks trying to perfect it. This is what came out, within a couple of hours of starting to write the song. So it's not it just is. But what I wanted to do with it is I created this theme, and the theme is, it's just following the chords. Right, so that's setting us up for a 6-note theme. We know that the theme is, it has that feel to it. Just following the beat. There's nothing outrageous about it. I picked the theme because it follows notes in the chords that are played, which I could explain it to you, but it's just like, essentially if you find any notes that work, then you can do this yourself. It's not about what I'm playing, it's about getting the idea across to you. So I set this theme. Now, of course, if I had just played this theme over and over and over and over through the solo, it'd get boring, it'd get really boring. But because I've got movement, because it changes to, right? That immediately gives us enough variation that we're moving places. Of course, I've moved it up an octave, so it sounds grander, it sounds more exciting. And you know, guess what? It happens when the solo is starting to climax. So, you know, this is all intentional, the way that it has happened and the way that it's done. But it doesn't mean that it's not musical. If I had have just dropped that theme and not used it later in the solo, it would have been fine. Except by drawing this in and playing that twice in different spots with solo stuff around it, we end up getting a real sense of home. Like, okay, this is what it feels like. It's got this melancholy vibe to it, and we're hearing a solo, we're hearing a bit of emotion, you know, whatever. So let's look at another solo. So for this one, I got the solo theme and I tried to make it something really simple. Right? To be perfectly honest, when I recorded the solo, I forgot what the theme was when I started, but you hear it starting to come out. Now, as you'll see, I use this idea over and over and over and over. And in places, yes, it does get boring, but in places, there's enough variation that it's not like you don't even necessarily connect that it's the same thing. So give that a listen and we'll analyze it in a moment afterwards. With that one, as I said, there's two parts of that little idea that make it unique, even though it's pretty generic. So the first part that we can change is the notes. So instead of, we can go, right? It still belongs in the same family. We're still doing the same thing. You know, it doesn't matter where we go really, so long as it sounds like it's in key. Like if we go, right? Again, a bit weird, but hey, whatever, just do whatever you need to do to make it work. But choose your notes. Whatever. And the next part that we can change is the rhythm. So instead of, we can go, or anything else. We could literally do whatever we wanted with the rhythm. That's the amazing thing about rhythm, is it is freedom. You combine those two ideas of variation together and all of a sudden you get, right? And that immediately makes it feel like a climactic part of the solo, even though that is literally a guitar exercise that I've been using for years. So this is the type of thing you can do with themes. But what you don't want to do, like, so I've got this other song and it's it is online, but it's crap. And I was trying to be as wanky as I could with this theme idea, right? And the theme was like or something. It was like a really simple theme, but it worked in the melody. And so what I was doing is dotting it all around the place and really trying to make that become a moment. And like, my goal was to make it sound like you didn't know that the theme was happening, but make it sound like an amazing piece of music. What I didn't realize is I let the concept of the theme dictate the results of the music, and that didn't work. So in the end, it just sounded like a piece of music that was weird. It didn't sound, you know, it didn't trick you into thinking that it was something that it was not. It just kind of sounded like a person who didn't really know what they were writing was writing. So don't let this concept overtake your whole playing. Don't let it be something like, oh, I'm working on theme and variation, and you've only playing the same theme, or you're only working on that one thing. Put other stuff, like just pepper those themes in so that they draw out something that's really like meaningful, as opposed to just totally improvising everything you're doing. And it can be very simple. You can so in that solo, I can't even remember what I played, but it was like oh yeah. Right, that itself is starting to draw out a bit of a theme. You know, potentially you'd argue that that's a melody, but I'd argue that it's a theme, because we're, you know, basing the same concept and then we're varying and then we're making it into something else, and it's just a theme that's changed over a short amount of time. When you get really ridiculously incredible at this, you turn into Beethoven, as I mentioned at the start of the video. Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, da 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 da, everyone knows it. Right, that is the same theme played twice, different notes. Then it changes. Changes again. And then it changes again. Right, this is literally the same theme over and over and over and over and over. And then when the scene changes and it goes all happy and pretty, the double bass keeps the same theme. Right, starts doing that underneath. The whole point of this video is themes can be used very well or very poorly, like anything. I would opt for using them, try and include them, try find a little melody that works over that chord or backing track that you're practicing to. And as you're doing that, find different ways to play around with that so that you get something that evolves over time rather than just a solo. And I've run out of things to talk at you about today, so please leave me a like, please leave me a comment, please subscribe, and I shall see you next week for some more talkings about music, whatever I happen to decide. Unless you ask a good question, then I'll just do it about that. See you then, bye.